Lisa, this is Bridgie here, getting back to you, right? To you and Dinah's Lisa, as you call yourself, right? Right, I want to make a few things clear with you.
This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only, and viewers, discretion advised. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share to help me make more videos.
Now, I'm not going to be shouting or roaring or putting myself under pressure here, because shouting and roaring, Lisa, doesn't make a woman. You should know that already, right? Or shouting and roaring or screaming never frightened me. Just let you know that, be aware of that now as well. You wouldn't frighten me now coming out screaming or shouting at me. But you said you said a message there or WhatsApp or whatever that I basically was making a laugh of your health, right? I have 6 children, God bless them, and God may leave them to me. 3 of them that went through operations, right? I never wished health problems or made a laugh of anybody's problems, what they had or what happens to them, right? Because there is a God above, and I leave everything like that to God as well. So anyone that makes a laugh or calls names, I leave all them things to God. So I'm not a hypocrite, Lisa, to go on and make a laugh of someone that basically, that I heard about a week before that, which was you, that you're in hospital and that something happened to you and something happened to your head. I don't rightly know the story, but something happened. So, and without that, Lisa, without me hearing that at the courthouse, and I'm not bringing your sister's name into it in a bad way, which was Kathleen. Kathleen was there with you. I did say to you, and Kathleen knows that, I said, that woman has respect for herself. You never hear nothing about that woman. You never see that woman doing nothing. But you, Lisa, I said. Kathleen kept turning around and saying to me, she said, Bridgie, she's a sick woman. She said, tell Joe don't hit her. She said, she's a sick woman. Please, Bridgie, she said, don't touch her. She's a sick woman. Right? So the guards was there as well, and they kept telling me to go on. That, like, obviously you were off your head that morning. That's being honest with you. And again, I don't judge people or make a laugh at them, because it's not right or lucky to make a laugh of anyone about drugs and different things. But I could clearly see, Lisa, that you were gone innocent with drugs, right? Secondly, I was getting said by your sisters telling me that you're not a well woman, don't bother with you, don't touch you, like, and just forget, let you pass all this and that. And the word I said to Kathleen, it's very hard to let people pass, Kathleen. I said, tell her go back in that way. I said, if she's jumping and rearing there herself, I said, she wants to say all and she wants nothing to say back. And I did, Lisa, I called you that because you were good enough to jump and rear and call Joe, trying to be making out to be the real good, very good auntie. You were so good of an auntie to Hughie that you were making out to be this perfect auntie, that Joe did this to Hughie and Joe did that to Hughie. Right, Joe did all that. But if Joe did all these things and that prostitute was, whatever that prostitute was doing for the last year and a half, sure you can't, Lisa, you were the very one that was with her. You were with her everywhere she went. You mustn't be thinking, Lisa, or does the drug your brain up that much, Lisa, when you're down drinking around the sheds? Because I was in John Paul's shed 3 or 4 loads of times, but I was in it 3 or 4 times when I was drinking down there with them when you were there. And every time I was down there when you were there, Lisa, you made a holy divine show of yourself. I don't even think we're far out cousins. I don't know what we are to each other. That I actually got ashamed, Lisa. As a woman, I got ashamed the way you threw yourself around that place. You're a show. You carried yourself in shame. You were there one night that your little oldest girl, God bless her, that walked in and hit you on the shoulder and asked you ready to go, that they're all waiting. They wanted you to go. They were heading over to your brother's place. You didn't want to go. You wanted to stay in John Paul's. You had no reason to business to be staying there. You should have gone over to your brother's. They're all having a party. You wanted to stay there. You were inquiring on the same night, was there such a man coming down? You asked that night as well. You wouldn't stop asking about that night. You kept it going. Now, Lisa, I could go on about a good few things. You said there's no dirt there, and to tell Joe to get look for forgiveness. Well, I didn't think that you're into vowel min as well, because my uncle Sammy is a man 60-something years of age. Right? He probably is no saint like the rest of them, but he is a man. And it is up to a woman to have a small bit of respect in herself, not to be carrying herself around like a slut. Because that's what you carry yourself around. Maybe you don't. This is where you have to cop on yourself, Lisa. Maybe you don't know you're doing these things with the drugs on. Because I wouldn't know. I never took drugs in my life. Don't intend to take them. So I could be 10 times worse than you if I took them. Don't know, but I won't know that because I'll never take them. But when you take them, Lisa, I don't know what way you are when you're sober. But Jesus, when you're off your head, Lisa, you are off it. And you are carrying on more than bad with yourself. Again, it's none of my business what you do. I don't give a shite if you went with 100 men, never mind one. But my Uncle Sammy, getting back about him, the man had no interest in you. The man was playing a game of pool in his brother's house. Shed outside playing a game of pool. You flirted and you flirted and you flirted. that bad that two of his daughters that was there that night was raging with you. Was absolutely raging with you for the things, the way you got on and the way you carried on with their father. I'm going to be honest about it. They were more than bad. You carried on more than bad with their father. But anyway, apart from all that, you said that Joe, I'm trying to take Joe out of it. No, Lisa, I'm not trying to take Joe out of anything. Right? I'm not trying to take Joe out of anything. As I always say, and I still say, Joe's as bad, maybe worse than any other man out there. I'm not going to be a hypocrite and take Joe out of it. But I am going to tell the truth about something. That you were the very person, Lisa, that you called your names, he called them back, you called him about me, and the word he riddled you, he called you a whore and he called you a prostitute because maybe he knows more things about you than I don't know, right? I don't know. But anyway, put it this way, whether you're doing it or not doing it, the way you carry yourself around, Lisa, you need to stop taking the drugs and cop on to yourself. If that's the way you are with the drugs on you, a word of advice, drop it. Now, drop off the drugs. And the other thing is, don't be screaming and shouting. As I told you already, your screams and your shouts and this, that and the other, Lisa, is not going to frighten anybody, because it definitely doesn't frighten me. That's been straight up about. I could scream now and put myself under pressure and put myself beat my hips and scream and shout. I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not doing that. So you clearly had this little conversation. You could just swear back to Miners Davy, and that you tried to bring. You're saying now that I'm not falling out with Miners Davy, or I said this. I don't want to fall out with Miners Davy. I've no reason, Lisa. What's wrong with you? You gone innocent or something? I've no reason to fall out with Miners Davy. No reason. The man is doing nothing to me. I just made it clear with him that Joe did not. You lie that you told about Joe. That Joe did not call you that name. I called it to you. I called it to you, yes. And any woman, as I said, gets up and roars and screams and dances when I'm around, when I'm there. Because there's a lot of things I'm only finding out lately that I didn't know when I wasn't there. As he said himself the other day, there's a lot of things he doesn't tell. Well, there's a lot of things I don't know, but if I'm ever there at any time, win, lose or draw, if I'm not able with some of my hands, trust me, I'll be able another way. Always be able for it. So, and shouting and roaring, or men or women, doesn't scare me off. Doesn't scare me at all. So now, Lisa, don't be running with your little stories. Don't be running with your little stories and then trying to cause arguments, but keep your name out of it. Keep your little name out of it. No one has brought you into anything this evening. No, I didn't even tell the name. I never said the person's name. I said at the courthouse, because I clearly knew when Miners Davy was able to get back about the courthouse, obviously I knew who he was talking about. So I got up and I clarified that. So, Jen, you made it clear who the woman was. You're the woman. And you said I know nothing about you. Well, I've never physically, literally now, with my own two eyes, seen you doing anything, as in going with a man. But Jesus, you did an awful lot of flirting. You did an awful lot of whoring and prostituting and flirting down around the sheds and out around the corners and waiting for the fellas to come out and giving messages into them. Lisa, I know a bit. I know a bit. I don't want to name other things because I know a bit that happened just recently, not that long ago, again, in my Uncle John Paul's house. I know a bit. Now, I'm not a scandal giver, Lisa, far from it, but I'm only saying you're able to give and say that Joe should look for forgiveness for this and that, then you shouldn't be going off to the old grandfathers. You should stay away from Tim too, Lisa. If it's eating you, it's eating you. But I'm sure now there's a fella out there. He's free and single, and he should be ready to mingle and do whatever he has to do with you. And you don't be like a good few watching the married men. Will you do that? And stay off the drugs, Lisa. Not jibing and making a laugh, because I swear that in St. looking down on top of me, I wouldn't make a laugh of nobody about drugs, because I can't judge nobody. But I'm only saying, live off the drugs, Lisa. If you feel that you're not doing these things, and you don't know what you're doing in your right mind, you're not doing these things. But then when you take the drugs, you're gone all innocent and backfooting yourself. Well, then you need to stop. Like a good few, you need to stop. Now, you can get back. I don't give a shite. Come back and say whichever you to say. But trust me, I will hit with a lot more.